Well, good morning, everyone. A second, my mic appears to have a little bit of trouble. All right, welcome. Okay, test, test. Oh boy. There we go. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. Wait a minute here. Gotta love these technical glitches here. Hang on. Some reason we weren't seeing the microphone and oh, okay. Well, welcome to live streaming, folks. You never know what you're going to get. So, well, I want to welcome you all here today. We're sitting on a impromptu, unscheduled flight. Um, I had to rearrange my boards for some reason. They got kind of messed up here over the last couple of days, and well, now I think we got things looking a little better. Just trying to get Sim Toolkit to come on board. It's wanting to be stubborn this morning. And we're going to try one more time here. Let you see the route. There it goes. Knew I'd get a bigger hammer, it would work. All right, so there you go, folks. We've got a fun day. We're flying from the Big Easy over to another easy spot in the world, Fort Lauderdale, and the beaches thereof. We'll be landing at Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International. It's about a 2 hour-ish flight from here, so we'll kind of see how things go. Now, we're already up in the cockpit, but I know you all want to see. So we're going to pop out here real quick, kind of zoom in. There you go, folks. The Flight Factor 767 sitting on the line here at FedEx. Again, down in New Orleans, as we prepare to head out. Okay, first off, I'd like again to say thank you to everyone for the reaching the affiliate status that we had reached Wednesday last week, and it really caught me off guard how analytics with Twitch work. I didn't see it coming, folks, and I like when those kinds of things. Um, I couldn't have done it with all of you, and for sure without the help of our Lord Jesus Christ. So, man, what a day. And what a week it's been. We've picked up to 70. I used to have a counter right in front of my face. Now I don't. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Um, Not on the right screen here on my laptop. Usually I can look right over and see our current tally, and I was on the wrong screen. So that'll take 2 years to warm up. So hang on a second. Just kidding. Where are you, by the way? There it is, 75 followers. So, by golly, thank you, folks. That really means a lot to me. Also, the 4 streamers that we do have on board already, or I'm sorry, 4 subscribers. Sorry about that. I appreciate it. We've got a couple of big streamers who are also following us. Folks, thank you very much. So let's hop up into the cockpit here. I got one more thing I would like to get set up here, so bear with me as I get that going, because I'll be totally honest, I don't know where the link is taking you right now, and I don't like that. So let's get over here. I'm just bringing up my SimAware. And for those of you not, of course, oh, that's IAH. Okay, hang on. Where am I at? Where am I at? Oh, I'm online, right? Yeah, I'm online. Let's do it this way. There, I finally found myself. Helps to look in the right spot, I guess, and I thought I was. Oh, and want to thank Glenn B Gaming for following us. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day out there. Uh, hope you enjoy the stream. If you sit back, just welcome aboard, and thank you again for taking the time to watch us and then turn around and follow us. We sure appreciate that. Okay, and that. I'm just getting one element ready, and it's in my stream elements. You're going to be getting messages, and the one thing I haven't been able to test on it is if it's the same link every time. I personally don't think it is, but I have been, let's see. I've been shocked a few times, and that's a good thing. Nope, it's not good. All right, so that'll change that. Do that. Okay. Whoop. That's why I'm not seeing it. Okay, I see how you're being tricky here. Alrighty, there it's saved now. Alright, so let's pull that away. Oop, I'm going to definitely pull that away. Go back to the dashboard there. Alright, so we're now 100% into the game. Sorry for that, folks. Kind of rushed myself, and that's what you get when you rush. However, the aircraft is, for the most part, ready to get going here. I just got to load the cargo and then get the fuel at the same time and get us rolling. All right, so first thing we'll go ahead is get that cargo going. And to do that, we're going to come up to this page right here, the tablet for the 767. We currently have the stairs, the chocks, and the loading units all attached, along with the GPU, fuel truck, air conditioning unit, and the loader unit. And as you look at the plane, see how well we can do this here. Here's your stairs, your loading unit, GPU. Way back behind number one is the ACU and fuel truck. That one's kind of obvious. And then your two loaders over here, and this little cart thing comes out when you select it. All right, so that puts that into perspective. Now, to load this plane, it's kind of, well, when you look at it, think real quick, how would you load it? Okay, and well, I'm here to tell you it's a little different. The one thing I did not do is go through this and set up our pallets. So let me see here with Sim Toolkit. Let me go ahead and bring that up. That way you can see what we're loading. He says that, and now maybe it'll show up. There it is. Okay, hang on. I got one more thing to whoop, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so let's get those over here. All right, so there's the, well, we're here in the middle of Louisiana. Well, here, I didn't want that picture. There we go. Right in this area, you can see we have weather all around us till we start pressing out towards the Gulf. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now let's look at the load sheets. We got 3 people. That's the pilot, co-pilot, and the load master. We're going to be putting 97,330 on the plane. And I'm just going to get a general number. Whoop. Hang on a second. 330. We're going to divide it by 9,800, and I'll explain that number here. Almost 10 pallets. So, okay. All right, so when you look at this number here, folks, let me make sure I didn't. No, I did not. Okay. So when you look at this pallet number, it's going to put in however many pallets you want. Each pallet already has 9,800 pounds on it. So we got to bring it up to our zero fuel weight, which as you look on Sim Toolkit, and I already got rid of that, sorry. 295,330 is what we're aiming for. Okay, so here's the zero fuel weight here. We'll worry about CGs and all once we get the numbers right. So for the payload, we'll put 9. That's going to bring us up to 286,200, which is almost 10,000 pounds under. So, but it's not 98. And if it is, it's going to upset me. So we're going to put in 9,600 just to see. And you see it was very close. Let's bring it down to 96,100. Whoops. I'll do that one more time because I think, yeah, so I need to come down to 95, 800, 500, so. Oh. Okay, actually, we're really close there. So 130 pounds. Okay, so 9130. Enter. There's our zero fuel weight. Now, we have to load in the fuel. Fuel on this one is 36,439. Okay, that is going to bring us up, and you can see, it is, oh my, it's red. We'll hit optimize. Now what it's just going to do is set the load in the plane so it's within the CG limits, and the bottom, don't worry about that part. The big thing is to understand the pallet number is how many pallets you want to put on. If you want to put 13 on, just remember they're 9,800 pounds a piece. You're going to go over gross. That's something I don't like with it. However, it's what we got to work with. While we're here, we're going to click maintenance and make sure everything's up to date there. And then we're going to just start clicking load. And for now, we're going to kind of push that aside. Come back to it once we're ready to get to the FMC. All right, so that, and I hate when my screen does this. Okay, there it goes, and hang on a second, click that one. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so we're back. We're ready to continue on. So we're going to continue on, but we're going to set up the overhead panel, come to the FMCs, and go from there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the wing lights on for now, even, you don't know. And let me check the volume levels here. Volume, where are you? There you are. We'll let it hang. It's not too overbearing. All right, so going through this, left and right yaw dampers, we're going to go ahead and turn on. Electric engine controls, go to normal, then put the guards down. Coming down to the hydraulics, we want C1, C2 on. I have them on already. We also want all the switches in auto, so that's these down here. Now, coming down the center. Now, these I had already done before we went on the stream. I had the battery switch turned on. I moved it to auto. Brought our bus ties on. Utility buses, our Gen Connects, and connected the ground power to the bus. That's what's powering the aircraft right now. Now, one thing, we're going to complete this out, wipe APUs off and lights are set, and the taxi lights are off. Now, coming down the center, we're going to hold off on the cargo heat for the moment. Doors are up, it's kind of useless. Continue down, we're going to put our ignition or engine start on 1, which is where it is already. And our fuel pumps are off. Anti-ice is off, wipers off, and our position wing lights are on. Now, this can look a little, just catch you off guard. They are actually in the off position. To show you that, I'll turn them so you can see them go down to on. Okay, now one thing I was going to point out here in the fuel area, we're just about fueled up here. 36. But you can see something I really like here. Hang on a second. Oh, excuse me. Didn't want to cough in your ear. All right, so the fuel system will tell you when they're done. That just hit 36.4. Sounds like the noise is chiming. They're now finishing what they were doing. One other great thing is where it's positioned is right under your fuel pumps. Instead of it's on the ECAS, it's up here to help you. That way you can tell, well, do I have fuel in the center? Yes, I do. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so that really helps me out, and anyone who flies this, they'll know if they have fuel in the center, this number will have a number other than 0. Your pumps would be right here. Again, they're off for now. So once we get done with the lights, we come back to the top, work our way down. Already turned on the window heat. All that's doing is helping to keep them from fogging up here in soggy New Orleans. Actually, St. Louis, where I live, is not much worse. We're pretty soggy too. This is your UHF. We don't use it at all. I don't even think VATSIM has a way. We're going to go ahead, since we're fueling, get our non-smoking light on. In the real world, it would be on a passenger jet, no electronics. I don't even think the no smoking is on them anymore. But I could be wrong, since they keep putting them on the planes when they release them. Okay, so we got also the seat belts turned on. Again, it's 3 people. Really don't think the cargo has to worry about the seat belts, but still, I turn them on. Okay, now we got to set the landing altitude. Fort Lauderdale is what I'm going to set for. And that also allows me to get in here, and why aren't you there? Huh, that's kind of funky. Didn't think it's been that long since I flew into this airport. I'm checking charts. And I could go another route, but this way for sure will get us what we want. Okay. and Fort Lauderdale, KFLL. Get that one in there for us. Will Jingle 6 help us out? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, there it is. 13 feet above sea level. So, and our hose, I'll put that in. And, all right, just getting some things set up. I might as well while I'm here. Okay, so 13 feet. So in the landing altitude, we'll dial it down, and I'll probably set it at 10. Yeah, 10. It's the closest number. I'm not rounding up to 20, so we'll put it at 10. It may be a rough landing. Now, one thing I do on flights, this is Captain Mike here. I utilize all of my ignition systems and pressurization. I change them 1 and 2 by the day of the week it is. So today is an odd number day, so I take the odd number on my engine start, which one I'll use, as well as my pressurization. Number 1, auto 1. It's just something I've, picked up from somebody out here in the streaming world, I think it was, or maybe a VA. Not 100% sure where I picked it up, but I did. So just something I like to pass along to people. That's just how I do that. In the Airbus, the nav lights, it's the day of the week. If it's an odd day, I use nav 1. If it's an even day, nav 2. There's no difference in what I'm doing. So as we continue on, we're set in the pressurization window here, auto 1. Moving down, our equipment cooling is in auto. We'll set our cabin, which really isn't much, charts, and the dome. Then I'll go ahead and brighten up the individual lights. Okay, next up, we go back up to the top here. As I said, I've already got our forward, mid, aft cabins already set. I set them 12 o'clock to the auto position. Below them are trim air, left and right recirculation valves. Those are turned on. And the cabin temperature is set to auto. I also turned the packs on just to help get things going. I don't know if the ACU hooks in, but when the APU fires up, it'll start pumping air in. And then I have all 3 isolation valves open, left, right, and center, basically opening the conduits for the air to flow through. Currently, the engine left and right are off, as well as the APU bleed valves. That, folks, takes care of the upper panel. I'll move down to the lower panel just to kind of get a look. Check my 1 and 2. Kind of just getting a look. Check recall. And it's bringing them both up. There's 2 pages worth, as you can see. Just coming down, check my statuses, make sure, and I'll bring this up more for you. Actually, I want to bring the top one because it needs to come down. As you can tell, I knew that was going to happen. And I just want to make sure we don't have RF. Our hydraulic pressures look good. Oxygen looks good, and our temperatures looking good in the cargo area. Nothing we can do right now, folks. It's hot. And then our brake temperatures and all. Set it back to here. Make sure we have oil quarts 18. Make sure we're in the green. And of course, the pressures are red because they're not running. All right, so close these 2 out. I'm going to do this to the FMCs. get them about even. All right. And that, folks, is pretty much it. The other thing you want to do, now when you first come to the plane, what I look for, I look down here, make sure the radar's off. The parking brake right here is set. If I switch over to this view, you can see them better. The two fuel control switches should be in the cutoff position. I move the throttle to make sure it's in, it will work. And then I move up, I check the landing gear. And as we move up further, I just want to make sure the wipers are off. And then we're ready to click the battery switch, get it turned on. The standby power to auto. We can click external power at that time if you want. It's up to you, or you can get the bus ties established. It's all up to you. But then we'll go through and get the bus ties. Don't mess with these. Don't flip them up. Do any turning on them, because that will disconnect the generator from that engine. And when you power up, they're not going to go through where you see the generator coming on and the lights changing from APU bus to the engine bus being on the bus. Electric bus, that is, sorry. Not the Greyhound bus. Sorry, folks, couldn't pass up that little joke that I was setting myself up for. All right, so moving on, let's get the FMC started, shall we? First steps in that, of course, we have to, what I do is take this display selector and I click it all the way over to heading. This will display how many minutes you have to alignment. That's how long you have to get your an ident page checked, your initial information being airport, and your coordinate reference put in, and then get to the legs page so that when it gets there, we're aligned. It won't say, please enter the coordinates. So to do this, now we've got this set on heading. We're going to come down and we're going to go to align, wait for it to go through its processes. The big one being that it's on the battery right now. So we know it'll work on the battery if we lose our generators. And then it'll go to align. Then there it goes. And then we'll move it to nav. And we do the same for the next two. Now some of you will just go click, 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 click. I wait, go through the process. What's a couple, what's an extra minute is the most this takes. Okay, that one goes to nav. Finally, number the right IRS. In the A320 from Flight Factor, and I'm sure in the real world, 1, 2, 3. So really it's the same thing. They're called ADIRs, but at the end of that word that I just said is IRS. So there you go, folks. Same thing as you got here. There's the final align. Go to the nav. At that point, we can now come down to the FMCs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stay out a little. We're going to bring back the Sim Toolkit here well, let's go ahead and do it now. It's not going to hurt anything. Sim Toolkit. Fade in. All right, so Sim Toolkit's back up here. We get the load sheet out. Now, you can see, for the most part, our flight plan here and in little itty-bitty words across the top. Or, if you look in the chat box here in a moment, it'll be there as well. As you can tell, we're going to plan a runway 11 departure. 11s, and then you can follow the flight plan out there. We're right now, in quotes, planning runway 10 into Fort Lauderdale. So we'll see if this all comes together. But The other place you can look, and this is if on your flights, and folks, feel free to come along. Folks, I'm on VATSIM, so give it a try. Put your feet in the water. Literally, we're flying over the Gulf. Preferably keep the plane at a comfortable altitude above the water. But anyway, feel free to come along or fly along with us on your own route, whatever that is. Let us know if you're doing that. I would love to know if some people are flying along at the same time. But anyway, let's pull up the flight plan. So we're flying the 767-300. It's got CF680 engines. There you go, the rest of it. Tail number right here, November 148 Fox Echo. Cost index for this flight will be 185. That's a number we'll need for the FMC. Air distance is 614 miles. The average wind is right there. And it even gives you the average fuel flow. And now this is all generated in SimBrief. That's a free service out there. NavGraph is part of it, but again, for now, it's a free service. That Sim Toolkit you can set up to reach out, pull the data in. Now, if you are part of NavGraph with the charts, that's another service you pay for the charts, but you can have Sim Toolkit work with that program to produce them right here. Okay, just something to let you know. This is, by the way, Sim Toolkit, one of the best kept secrets on the flight sim world. Actually, it's not really much secret anymore, but there's a lot of pilots that don't know about it. This is free, folks. That's right, I said free, and it gives you a lot of stuff to work with. I mean, look behind me. You've got the weather, you got the route. It's on VATSIM. Is this on VATSIM traffic? I don't think it is. However, if you go to the map, it will take you to flight VATSIM, IVAO. Forget the other ones it has, but it does do some of the online services. It's a really good tool for you flight simmers. And it's free. And folks, you can't pass up free. So like I said, 185 on the cost index, 35,000 is what SimBrief has given us. Awesome. Thanks for chiming in there. Yeah, it is a great tool. I appreciate, yeah, folks, I can't stress it much. This is a great tool for flight planning and en route use. So our fuel, you already know that is 36,439. For those of you that like to see how the dispatch breaks it down, here you go. Here's the route again. And if there were step climbs, it would be in here. We don't have any planned. And then moving down is our times, both estimated and scheduled. It's a scheduled 2-hour flight. They're estimating 205, and I'm sure the winds have a lot to do with that. And awaits. Now these are in pounds. You can set it for kilos for those of you in the European world. And then on down into the flight plan itself. And then the weather, and I think it even gives you the charts at the end. I usually don't scroll that far down into it, but that's what we've got going here. So what we're going to do, keep the load sheet, whoop, not the load sheet up, sorry. And I'm going to bring it down to where the route is showing, just so you all can see it as we plug it in. So FMC. So we're going to go with the 767. That's what we're in. That's the right model. That's the right engines. RNAC. Now that refers to you guys in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, as this being the first one that I know of. I don't think Prepared did this, allowing you to update your in-game nav database. Now you can do it through graph, it looked like there may be another program you needed. I don't have the new sim, so I can't really talk much about it. But this is X-Plane, and X-Plane has been updating the nav data for quite a while. So when I climb in, if I've got the right nav data, I can load any flight that comes in very simply. And this lets you know the date, when it was last updated and when the next one comes, about a month apart. POSINT is where you type in where you're at, KMSY. And then we can use the GPS position, put that in here, click route. And we should have updated by now. Hang on, let me plug that in real quick. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, there we go. Ooh, quit doing that, Sim. All right, so Kilo Fox Lima Lima is our destination. We're going to just go with FedEx 811, which is my call sign at FedEx Express Virtual. We are flying for them today. Great airline, folks, if you want to join them. Great team there. Great ACARS program on top of it. So highly recommend. If you're looking for a virtual airline, you like hauling cargo, you like FedEx, they're a really good outfit, folks. So, but anyway, that's my call sign with them. And I'm not the 811th pilot. I just got randomly assigned that way back when they were first starting out. So I like it. So next page, we're going to go ahead and plug this route in. So it's Blevins. That's Bravo Lima Victor November Sierra. Make sure I spelled everything right. Understand where you're coming from, Glenn B. But FedEx, well, one, I don't know of any A320s that are in a cargo configuration. I could be wrong, but I don't know any. I do know the 330 is, but that's about it with Airbus. So they don't actually make a lot of cargo planes. So that's why FedEx is primarily with the Boeings. And you want to get technical, McDonnell Douglas too. But I understand Boeing bottom out. But anyway, so we're looking BLVNS, okay. And oh, by the way, before I get going with, let me go ahead and put that in. With FedEx Express Virtual, they may allow you to substitute an Airbus. Not 100% sure, but you can take a look at them. I'll shoot you a link here. And you can check them out. Check the rules because I know they allow subbing for a lot of aircraft. So give them a look. This isn't the FedEx. There is another FedEx out there. This airline is different. So, and I really like them, and I especially like their ACARS system. But let's get this one going here. Next one up is Yankee 290. Oh, I put it on the wrong side. Sorry, folks. And this is what I like about Boeing. It makes it simple to put the routes in. And, Airbus just gets a little too much. And I'm sure there's reasons for it. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems more complicated than it needs to be. 290 ends at Bags, which is Bravo, Alpha, Golf, Golf, Sierra, which puts us, I believe, right on the jingle. It sure does. So there you go, folks. There's our flight plan. We'll activate it, execute it. Next page. Oh, I always forget. Does it work here in X-Plane like I was used to in FSX? All right, so there you go, folks. The route is in. We're programmed up here. The only thing we need to do is set up the um, arrival page. Now, you're all going, wait a minute, you didn't check your route. Actually, I can right here. Okay, so right now, we're showing with this route in 595 miles to go. Now, if we look, I'm going to get over here to Sim Toolkit. Okay, so we're going to go from GC distance to ground distance. So we're going to make sure that number at this point fits in between there. If it does, good chance you've got the route entered right. Now, if it's way off, we can go line by line by line, step through the FMC, and I can do that for you right now. Let me just get Sim Toolkit out of here, because if I don't, I will forget. It's that old age syndrome. And those of you laughing, we all suffer the same disease. We all get old. I'm just getting some more realigned. Okay, so there we go. Bear with me. I'm going to punch it up a little bit on the distance out. To step through this map with this route, just like the Airbus, for those of you that love the Airbus, go to the plan, go to legs, and there we go. So there's Blevins. Huh, I've never noticed that. Anyway, Blevins, then we step to Buns, and you can see it's centering on that one. That's what that's meaning. And we're looking for anything way out of the norm of mileage and discontinuities at the same time at this point. Okay, bingo. Okay, legs were good. Back to the map page and back up to here. So now we just have to enter the runway. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to bring in our charts now. You'll understand here in a second why. Okay, here comes the charts. Okay, so as we look at the charts here, let's go to, here's get this over here to where it works for me better. 11 is right here, and let me bring us up here so we're visible. Okay, so you can see we're on this ramp here. So we'll push back, go up Echo to the runway. And then it's a 10,000 foot runway. Now, there are, as I just brought up now, looking for more charts, there are no departures out of here. So basically, you're going to take off, get stable, make your right hand turn to join the route to Blevins. Pretty simple. J Drums, yeah, we know you, but you know you work at an airport that only sees Airbuses every day and a Boeing once or twice a year. I actually, I like them both. I mean, I used to be like that. I really did not like Airbuses. I started flying them here, and boy, they're fun to fly. All right, so we're going to be going off runway 11. So we click the departure arrival page. Again, it just seems simpler in the Boeing FMC sometimes than the um, Airbus, just to me. And I hope it is really in the real world this simple. Okay, so we've got runway 11 selected. We'll execute. Come back to the legs page to make sure no discontinuities. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the arrival for Fort Lauderdale only. Because who knows, they may change the runway. and that's the Jingle 6. Back to route. Okay, and I'll bet you it did it twice again. Okay, so it did it twice. I hate when it doesn't put it in there. So I just come in here, delete, move that up, execute. Now it's in there. Sorry about that, had another cough. Oh, who wants to talk to me? Oh, well, I'm not even moving, so don't worry about it, New Orleans. We'll get a hold of ground when we're ready to. All right, so let's get in here and get the performance put in. Click the line select next to 0 fuel weight. And we'll come back to that later. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull the charts page off. Okay, so for the fuel reserve, what I'm planning is 14.4. And basically what that is I take what it takes to get to my alternate. That has to be in there, folks. I need to know that. Plus my reserve, which is the 45-minute reserve. I put those two numbers, and that's how I come up to this. However you want to do it, folks, but that's how I do it. 35,000. What? I must have clicked twice. Then our 0 fuel weight, and I hope some people remembered that. Our cost index, sorry, is 185. Now, I will go ahead and I'm not going to go with ICAO. That is 4,000 foot intervals. I'm going to put 2,000 feet. I don't know if it'll take it as RVSM. RVSM. Sorry, I had to make sure I got the acronym right. And then I'm going to go to the takeoff page and then click CG. There's our trim. Go to the next page for our wins. Current Metar here shows 140 at 6. And you all can see that in the chat as well. So 140 diagonal 06. I don't know how to enter the slope. I've tried it actually in that format. It seems to not want to work. I'll keep this as is. 29 is our outside air temperature. Back to this page. Now I'm going to do a quick update here on my TopCap program, which I use on a different computer. Try optimum, make ours take off. Oh, no, not yet. I forgot to update the weather. There we go. Sure it matches. 17 at 1953. They do. Takeoff data. There we go. And what I'm getting, folks, is pretty much what the real crew would get printed out right back here. And then usually, I've been told, I've never been in one after that, they put it up here for all to see, or up under here, I guess. So, continuing, looking at this data, though, that came in, we're going to have about 1,500 feet of runway at the end, but our important numbers are, we're going to go with a takeoff 1. Okay, hang on, let me alter that. Just to make it easier, takeoff data, there we go. TO 43 degrees. So the TO is correct. We're going to go 4-3. The reason I'm not doing the takeoff one, really don't know how to set it here or on here. And we're going to be doing a flaps 5 departure. Okay. Do one more change. We are on a wet runway. Okay, so V1 becomes, hang on, let me go to the next page. Can I set, how do I set it to wet? Okay, well, we'll set the V1 to 135. And the rest is going to be right on target, 149,156. All right, so we are set with the FMC. We're set with the cockpit prep. Last step I do differently than the checklist. This checklist wants me to now wait on setting my MCP until we're pushed back. I do it now. So I'm going to make sure the flight directors are on. We'll leave the auto throttle armed, even though I normally don't. Speed that I set is V2 plus 10. That's my preference. So that'll be 166. Runway heading is 106. Be careful not to get the outer edge. I try to keep that on auto. Whoop, backed up. 35,000. Okay, and our flight directors, like I said, are on. And they won't go to auto at this point, but they will eventually. Okay, so we've got the FMCs and now the MCP control panel set, and we're ready to fire up the APU. Let's first close up most of the airplane here. So to do that, let's go to ground, hop outside, come up a little, there we go. So we can get rid of, can't get rid of the GPU or the APU or ACU yet, but we can get rid of the loaders and the fuel truck. Go to the airplane, and we'll get all the doors themselves closed. And we'll just do a quick spin around the plane. Just for you, J Drums, I know you'd be on the roof taking pictures. Okay, and all the doors appear to be closed. All right, so let's fire up that APU. Oop, too far, sorry about that. Okay, so left, center, and right fuel pumps go on as required. Again, we see 0, so on, on. Center pumps stay off. Ground equipment minus the air cart and ground unit have all been removed, other than the stairs, and the main door is still open. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get our tow vehicle ready to go. Do our better pushback. Get that pre-planned. I'll talk to ground before we push back. No worries, guys. I hear you. Oh my gosh, he's going to push back before talking to him. No, I'm not.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
Alrighty, so we got the pushback set up as well. All right, so we got to get the ACARS program running. Okay, of course there's an update. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and start. That's how simple it is. And then I go to the dispatch page, put in KMSY, KFLL, 35123. And our good old route. Online, downlink. Basically what it's going to do, there's a mobile version that he has, and it lets you see where you are, and more data comes out of it. It's really, like I said, he's really done a great job with this. Minimize that, back to minimum. Okay, so we're ready to crank it up. APU to start. On. There we go. And we can actually watch it from the status page. Here it is right here, line 3. Little better view for y'all. All right, we're slowly getting up to that RPM, but okay, we're getting where I can turn on the APU generator. Okay, we're looking good there. All right, so continuing with the checklist, we go to the generator, click on. Now we go to the APU bleed, turn it on. It's going to start putting pressure on the packs, which are now going to start cooling the aircraft. Left, center, and right. So left is already on, right's already on, center's already on. That's why the pressure came up. Tow vehicle's been called. And we can disconnect external power. The flickering is just switching from this being on the bus, the external power, to the APU now on the electrical bus. And as we look outside, get a pretty good look here. Here's the ACU, here's the ground power unit. Go up here, pull the EFB back up, and we can now get rid of the GPU, get rid of the ACU, and I'm going to go ahead and close up the plane. And the door is closed. Oh, remove the stairs. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the chocks. All right, so we are now ready for him. So let's get the better pushback on its way.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
And let's head down to the radio area because somebody wants me to get a clearance. Not clearance, clearance. Over, no, under. Okay, so we got everything set here. Right now we're on Unicom. We're about to get a new frequency put in here, and that frequency is 121.9. How did I not know that's what we were going to get? Oop. Come on. Oh, you won't let me do that. Okay. That stinks.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Permission to connect granted. Okay, just to make sure. 219. New Orleans ground, FedEx 811 Heavy. Request IFR clearance to Fort Lauderdale as filed.
FedEx 811, clear to Fort Lauderdale Airport, as filed. Maintain 4000, expect flight 13501 after departure. Departure frequency on flying squad 4501.
Copy, cleared is filed to Fort Lauderdale 4000 till 10 minutes after departure, then flight level 350. 4501 in the box. We're ready to push.
FedEx 811, read back. Right, push start is at your discretion. Expect run 2.
I'm sorry, which runway you broke up on? Ground FedEx 11, what runway?
FedEx 811, expect runway 20.
Okay, 11's not available?
FedEx 811, stand by.
Okay, gotta love them when they do this. Okay, so we need to go up a notch. That way he can now see us. 4501. There we go. Okay, now he can see the squawk. Looks like we may be doing an FMC update, folks. I always love these guys that do this. A heavy airplane, and they...
FedEx 811, negative, 11 is not available. Runway 20 is for landing and arriving. Correction, for arriving and departing traffic for today.
Copy that. We'll make the changes. FedEx 811. Okay, that doesn't do much at all. That's the hard part, but here's where we got to get in here, get new information. So bear with me a second as we got to switch to the shorter runway on top of it. Okay, so yeah, we got a lot to change here. Okay. Okay, so first things first. All right, wind is still the same. Outside air temperature is still the same. We're on the same wet runway. However, we're going to do flaps 20 and a unreal flaps 20. Good Lord. Okay, clear. Okay, now for our reference speeds, we're going to be looking at 123. Then 135, 144. Go with 135 44. Okay. Now we're going to be 54. Yeah, I could have left it the way it was the first time. See, it was trying to tell me something. All right. He doesn't get that it's a 30-degree difference in the heading on the runway, but that's okay. It's actually worse for me to go off 2-0, but that's okay. I don't want to upset them. Okay, so let's get back to the checklist. So the guy's waiting for the call, and ground FedEx 811 Heavy is ready to push back.
FedEx 811 Heavy, pushing service discretion, call me for taxi.
FedEx 811 Heavy will call for taxi. I actually think they get a jolly out of it, but anyway, that's just me. All right, so let's go ahead, turn the parking brakes off.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
I do like that at least we have this, what I call the energetic pushback driver on this one. We'll go ahead and do as he said, light them up. All right, so we got to turn the packs off. He's pushing us. We'll go ahead and get number. I'm going to do this from this angle so you all can kind of get a better view. We'll go to auto and then ground. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this one up because what we're waiting for is for the N2 to cross this magenta line. It's around 20%. And then we're going to turn the fuel on. Okay, engine spun up here. We just had it switch to the gens. Over to that now on the bus, number 2. And we're just waiting for it to settle down a little. Oil pressures are up. Still.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Okay. Oop. There we go.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Okay, once we stabilize, we'll start up the next one. Here it comes past the magenta line, up we go. Basically, I just released the pushback. Okay. Next up on the checklist will be after the start.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Thank you much. Thanks for flying with Mike. We're on the gens. And when we see him, we're looking for the pin over here.
FedEx 811 Heavy, I have a new departure frequency advisor. Copy.
Great. Now we have departure. Okay, so we see the guy with the pin. And to acknowledge, all I do is because he may or may not be able to see us. Ground, go ahead with that frequency.
FedEx 811 Heavy, departure frequency 125.5.
125.5 FedEx 811 Heavy, thanks. And let me get my chart up here. So we're going to probably come out on Echo to Sierra up to the top there. Okay, 7,000 foot runway. Alrighty. Just so y'all know, there is a 7,000 foot runway, so we're going to be putting a lot of coal into the engines to get them going. Alright, so after start, parking brake set, tow vehicles been sent away, left and right hydraulics on. Anti-ice, we're going to go with engine just because of the rain and thunderstorms. Who knows what we'll catch while we're in the air. Left and right engine bleeds coming on. Left and right packs coming on. Now we can turn the APU bleed off. Turn the APU itself to off, as well as the gen. We're already, both engines are both on the bus. So we're good to go there. All right, so before taxi, back down here, we want to set the auto brakes. Whoops, this one here to reject. We'll get the taxi lights in a minute. Altimeters. Let's see. Oh well, we'll get it another way. Sure, he won't like me getting it this way because it doesn't involve him. 3010. Now, there's a neat little trick here. Let me zoom in. Currently, you see, I'm going to show both. We're at 2992. See how we're at 2992 on the first officer with flight factor? When I set this to 3010, two things are going to happen. One, I'm at 3010 and the negative goes away. But you're going to get a message up here. Altitude disagrees. That's because first officer's is not matching. Now, in a real world, he'll set his as well. However, to help us, there's a short key in here, and it's right here with this little set screw. See the arrow? Click on it. The message goes away. Lo and behold, he's now on 3010. Nice, makes it a little, helps a little bit in cockpit flows. So all we have to do is come down, set the bottom one here, and we're set. We just come out now. We'll go to the center to make it easier. Left and right VORs are now in auto. Whoop, not all of, ooh, why aren't we getting this one? On. Okay, well, we'll see if that comes alive here. It should be in auto right now. Left and right flight directors are both on. And I am going to go ahead. Oh, I got to redial my heading. Hang on a second here. Heading off this runway is 196. Okay, and finally we'll set the MCP, which is right here. We'll do it the easier way. 3 to 200. Okay, there's set state trim. I believe going to be easier to see the numbers here. Going to come up to there, even though I know I'm going to be right back down on it. Flaps 20. Verifying that in the, yep. Okay, now we'll go to the EFIS panel. We're at 200. We can't turn the terrain or weather on yet. We'll have 20 on the range map for here. 20 and up to map. Going to TA. And I always forget which one's traffic. Okay, got it. Okay, TA only, and that's all I've got it set at right now. Parking brake is set, and weather radar can go to WX. See if it shows anything here. All right, so here we go, folks. This is not going to be what I had hoped for, but we'll see how it works out. All right. And New Orleans ground, FedEx 811's ready to taxi from FedEx. Okay, are they still online? New Orleans ground, FedEx 811 heavy.
FedEx 811 Heavy. New Orleans ground, go ahead.
Yes, sir, we're ready to taxi from the FedEx apron.
FedEx 811 Heavy, runway 20, taxi via Echo Sierra.
Copy, Echo Sierra to runway 20. Didn't catch if there was a restriction on crossing 11.
FedEx 811 Heavy, runway 20, taxi via Echo Sierra, hold short runway 11.
Copy, we'll taxi via Echo Sierra to 20 and hold short of runway 11, FedEx 811 heavy. Oh, this is going to be such a fun flight until we get away from them. Can't wait to see what approach is going to have us do. Okay, we're taxiing, lights are on, parking brakes off, flight controls. Let's go ahead and check those now. I do not know where the override button is. I know where it is in the Flight Factor A320, but not in this one. Okay. Here we go, turning towards Sierra. All right, folks, we're away. Took us only an hour and 25 minutes to get taxiing, but hey, could be worse. Could have been an hour and 26 minutes. Tell you it's ridiculous, but whatever. Let's go. We'll see how much ground is paying attention here. You know, one thing I did not put in my flight plan. Maybe I should. so they behave as well. There we go. We're on our way. Huh. On a second.
FedEx 11 Heavy, cross runway 11 at Sierra. Continue on Sierra, runway 22.
FedEx 811 understands, cleared to cross runway 11 and continue on Sierra. FedEx 811 Heavy. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know I had turned that on. I'm glad I looked. And ground FedEx 811's off runway 11, continuing on Sierra. Okay, so takeoff checks while we're doing this. Hop back into plane here. Speed brakes are down. Flaps set 20. Runway lights are already on, or I'm sorry, correction, taxi lights are already on. MCP set, auto throttles on. And we're going to go ahead and turn on RNAV, or VNAV, sorry. We're going to stay with heading select initially. And then we'll go to LNAV once allowed. Transponder now going to TARA. Okay, and that sets us up for takeoff. And ground FedEx 811 Heavy will be ready at the end of the runway to go.
FedEx 811 Heavy, contact New Orleans approach 125.5.
Roger, over to approach 25.5, FedEx 811. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
All right, come over here real quick, just to be safe. Get up here and make sure. New Orleans approach, FedEx 811 Heavy will be ready at the end of the runway to depart.
FedEx 811 Heavy, New Orleans approach, fly runway heading. Wind, 190 right 8, runway 20, clear for takeoff.
Roger, clear for takeoff, runway 20 on runway heading. FedEx 811 Heavy. I'd like to know where they're getting their winds from, because I just rechecked. They're not 190. They're still showing what I got here, 140. Hey, maybe they need new glasses like I went for today. Just kidding. All right, just making sure they're not clearing someone to land on top of me. Come on, power. Now there is another click spot on here. I'm about ready to show that to you for Toga. Bear with me as I line up here. And there we go. All right, lights on. Okay, all our lights are on. MCP is on VNAV. All right, so here we go. Folks, we're going to take them up to 70% and then take off. We'll hit Toga. Toga is this button right below the FD button. So here we go to 70. And yes, I'm going to let them do it right here. We're at 70. As soon as we stabilize, here we go. And Toga.
Delta 8927, New Orleans approach. Are you able to receive voice?
Here we go, folks. $80 knots.
Orleans approach, good afternoon, Delta 8427, 8927, good afternoon. We are descending down to 10,000 due to bad weather condition right here. So we're expecting analyst runway
V1.
11. Survive for further instructions, Delta 8927.
Rotating.
Delta 8927, New Orleans approach, ident.
Gear up. And if y'all don't mind, the autopilot's coming on now. Climb to. Gears up and
Delta
off.
8927, radar contact 48 miles northwest, reserve VOR. Altitude indicates flight level 340. Are you able to take runway 20, sir?
Landing gears up, autopilot's on. Lights.
And it's going to be runway 20 for Delta 8927. Delta 8927, you expect RNAV at Yankee runway 20 approach. RNAV Yankee runway 20 approach, roger that.
Bringing up some flaps.
It is good to you. I will appreciate if you can give me some vectors, get me out of that bad weather here. Okay, Delta 8927, where's the weather on your radar? Give me a position on it. FedEx 811 heavy radar contact, say altitude.
FedEx 811's passing through 1600 for flight level, for 10,000.
FedEx 811 heavy, climb maintain 15,000.
Roger, continue to 15,000, runway heading. Forgot about that, they restricted me down. Oh. Should have started at 10.
8927 is good for us if we can fly heading 100 for about 20 miles. Delta 927, fly heading 100, descend to maintain 11,000. 100 down to 11,000, 1,000, Delta 8927. FedEx 811 heavy, turn left heading 130, clear direct Blevins.
130, direct Blevins, FedEx 811 heavy. Okay. Flaps up. As soon as we level out, we'll go direct 11s. Let's see if it'll let me do it now. Didn't think so. Oh wait, gotta be on the legs page. Execute, LNAV, there we go. Oh, that is just nasty looking there, isn't it, folks? Hang on a second. All right, I love it when the cockpit's not gonna behave at all. Terrain on this one, weather on that one. It's still not gonna behave. All right. See if we can get it to stay with us this time. There we go. And flaps are up. How are we looking over here? Is it horrible? Oh, actually not too bad. We're on weather. And we are direct. All right, folks, let's take a look outside the plane, shall we? Oh, looks nasty.
Delta 8927, you should be clear of that weather. Can you accept the south turn? If you give me 10 miles more, I will accept south turn. Delta 8927, roger.
Okay, we are airborne. Not for me, it isn't, and I expected that heading out to the Gulf. But for him coming in Delta, who knows? Who knows what Active Sky or whatever weather product he's running is showing. All right, we are about to cross 10,000 feet, headed to 15,000. And our departure was when? That's why I said, dang it, if I would have set a timer, I would be ready to go to all the way up. Oh, look what I...
Lions approach, good afternoon, it's November 209 Kilo. We're on uniform requesting VFR circuits.
Okay, I'll go another route.
November 209er Kilo, New Orleans approach. Make left close traffic. Wind 1908, runway 20 at uniform, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, make left-hand close traffic. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20, November 209 Kilo.
All right, let's get those lights off. And our speed is coming up. I just adjusted the aircraft so we should be able to make it. Climb 2. Basically, when this line reaches up where...
Delta 89287 is clear sky from this point, and we will accept vectors for Arnav Yankee runway 20.
Alright, stand by, folks.
Delta 8927, turn right heading 180, descend to maintain 7,000, vectors for approach. Right 182 is vectors for our 90 Yankee approach runway 2.
All right, we're going to reach 15,000 here in a moment. See what happens. Landing speed of 142, 325 feet per minute. Where was that at, Mr. J Drums? Because I saw you out ahead of me now. If that landing was on the water, that's cool. Hopefully you weren't a helicopter landing on one of the oil rigs. That would have been a kind of rough landing. All right, let's turn that back up because I always get afraid when I do that. Okay, we're still in climb 2. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Flaps are up. Confirmed. Okay, and 10,000. We turned the lights off. Transition is going to come up here after he releases us. Now, y'all saw.
927, it's going to maintain 4,000 at 210 knots.
Now, with the 767s, folks, I use this for ATC and this one for Unicom. Should be leveling off here in a moment. We are level. Oh, you're right. I misread that, Mr. Drum. Sorry about that. Misread that completely. But Taco Tuesday 713 or 7313, welcome aboard in the chat area. Hope you're having a great day. Along with Paragod 876 and TK0090. Hope y'all are having a great day. Thanks for giving us a try. Welcome to join us in the chat room. If you like what you see, we'd ask you to follow us, but that's up to you. So, welcome aboard. Thanks for flying with Mike.
27, turn left heading 090, vectors for descent.
Alright, time to wake him up.
Left 090 vectors for descent, Delta 8927.
Approach FedEx 811s at 15,000.
FedEx 811, Houston offline, radar service terminated, frequency change for veterinary flight, sir.
Roger. Continuing to 35,000. Have a great day. FedEx 811 Heavy.
See you. Delta 8927, turn right, heading 230, intercept the runway 20 localizer, descend and maintain 2000.
Okay, and let's flip-flop the radios. Goodbye. Alright, folks, we're back on to Unicom. And I don't even know if Jacksonville's up or not. Sounded like they weren't, and we're into the clouds. See what that looks like. Oh, we're getting on top. I love these pictures. Punching out. All right, so there we go, folks. We're out of the clouds now. Getting some pictures while we're up here. There we go. And let's see. And folks, those of you in the chat room, feel free, exclamation point predict. Make a prediction on how you think I'll land. Haven't given you the weather yet in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to do that here momentarily. So I'm going to take a stab, sunny and 70. Oh wait, sunny and 110. No, just kidding. All right, so top of climb, there's 18,000. We're going to do exactly the same thing, folks. We're going to dial down to 2992. Message should come up. It just did. Get the backup reading the same, as well as the first officer. There goes the message away, and away we go. One last thing to turn off the wing lights. And I did get those turned off. We in a turn? Huh, just seemed like we were. The way the clouds, I guess, are angled out there makes it look like we're in a turn. Verified here and here that we are not. Currently in climb 1, as you can see, our N1 is getting up to where the climb CLM would be. Once it does, we'll wash out the climb and there won't be a need for derating on the climb out. There you go, folks. We are airborne. I'll go ahead and throw one in the hat too, for the heck of it. Alright, so we're looking at 090 on the wind, so the 10s look good. Left is on the FedEx side, and yep, looks like what you would expect flying into Florida these days. Few clouds in the skies. Well, we got a broken layer at 25,000, but really pretty much a clear day, sunny, and oh, what's 30 degrees Celsius? Dun, 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 80s, upper 80s. So all in all, not a really bad day, but welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We hope you enjoy the ride. We're looking at an hour to go. I'm just looking at the ACARS program. Just something I was curious about. Wasn't easy. Oh well. I was seeing if I could find my takeoff time so I knew when I could have started my 10-minute counter. Oh well, not a big deal. Like I said, nothing overly major here. All right, so engine-wise, we look good. System-wise, APU is off and flap down. Everything looks good. As we cross 27,000. And J-Drums, thanks for flying with us today. I see you out there. If flying? Yeah, I am flying to Blevins. Okay. I take it you're taking a more direct route? Need some JATO bottles. Well, you should have flown the C-130. They got them. Or an F-15. They always have JATO. Actually, it's called an afterburner. And we're starting the fun X-plane porpoising out here. That's the one thing I don't like about this sim. It just really does not do well atmospherically, in my humble opinion. But again, I've flown Microsoft so many years. I don't know. I just haven't gotten used to it, I guess. To me, this is way too much of a climb index. We should be at this point between 1,000 and 2,000, not pushing over, even in climb power. But that's just me. I'm sure I'm way off. All right, so the cargo can get up and walk around here. Hang on. Well, I would kind of disagree with you on that, Drums, but you know that from me already. I think Microsoft may have nailed a lot of things a lot better than X-Plane is doing. Problem is their scenery took a long time to catch up. Hence, we're seeing that now with the new sim. But aircraft-wise, overall, is still I nod to flight sim. The aircraft, when I go to this view, that looks good. But as I swing around, as long as I stay out, it looks good. But as I get in, it seems to stretch out. That is, I don't know if that's on me, on X-Plane, or what, but that's one of the things I don't like. So it could very well be X camera. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I start. And the weather looks, I mean, even default Microsoft, and folks, I'm going to curse at you, FSX, is 10 times better looking than this. That's FSX, folks. Prepared made it better. Of course, get Active Sky. I know it looks 100% better. But folks, I can make it 10 times better just going back to FSX. So now I will give them, I heard thunder coming into my New Orleans a week or two ago. So that's a plus. They're getting better. We'll see what happens, like Drum said, with 12. But the aircraft are getting better. The companies are making them a little better. PMDG will hopefully bring their magic they do in the Microsoft world one day over to X-Plane. Looks like they won't, but maybe. Who knows? You can always hope. But they would be the one to really, really make this a premier system. And at a premier dollar. So, Blevins is right on the horizon here at 10 miles. We'll be making the turn then to head towards Bags, which is our initial, into Fort Lauderdale. on the Jingle 6 arrival. Okay, we're 400 miles out. Okay. And we're just now crossing Blevins. So from Bags, we go pretty much just to the south of Tampa. No, my bad. Fort Myers. No, where are we at here? Yeah, just north. I'm sorry, just north of Punta Gorda and Fort Myers. My bad. Will be south of Sarasota, and then we'll cut over towards runway 10. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and bring that chart up here, and I'll get a early sneak peek at what's coming. Now, as we look at the chart here, this is the Jingle 6 arrival. Let me kind of zoom in a little. There's our ATIS, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't seem to want to work for me when I dial them up. That's okay, though. I have other ways to get my weather. DME IRU required or a GPS. It's an RNAV1 approach. Routing from Rexon. Okay, let me kind of zoom it up here so you can read the chart and kind of see what you're going to be doing here. So from Rexon, we go to Fortle, then to Swags, then to Jingle. Now, Jingle, we're expected to be at 8,000 and 7,000 when they're landing west at Hollywood. Let me see. Okay, so which one? That's kind of confusing, because Fort Lauderdale is also Hollywood International. So I'm guessing when we're landing to the west, we got to be at 7. Okay, little confusing there. Let's make it tough on the pilot. In the simulator, of course, the real guys are like, yeah, that's been that way for years. No, who cares? That airport there. Oh, you guys aren't even seeing it, I realize. There we go. Let's try that again. Oh. There we go. All right, so as I said, Rexon, the Fortle, the Swags, the Jingle, the Jerem, Holid, I believe, is the initial for runway 10 left. I believe. We're going to find out here in a second. Okay, and that is it for this chart. So what we're going to do is go over here to the legs page, get down to bags, and we're going to make sure what we just read matches. Actually, let's get the runway in. We're going to go ahead and plan 10 left. Okay, and now as you notice, whoa, this does not look right. First, look up here. It's still set to New Orleans. Come down to the index. Look for Fort Lauderdale, KFLL. Click Arrival. One thing I've learned. Click, click, then click left and click Hold It. But let's make sure first. Again, remember I said Hold It down here, I believe is the initial. Let's go to the ILS for 10 left. There's hold it, the initial. It is, what is it out there? 7, 13, about a 15, 16, 17 mile final. So you're way out there, but it's a good place to be at. So we'll go ahead and do hold it, execute. Everything became active. Gawks and bags. Okay. Now, why did I do all of those extra things? If you wouldn't have gone through and reinitialized your star and transition for it, then your runway and your transition for it, you'd have lost all of that and you'd have to do it again. That's why I have the chart up. So, next page. Jingle. Still showing us way too, oh wait, execute. Way too high. Jaren, way too high. Let's go back to the arrival. Waiting to see if it catches itself. What it's doing is it's taking us out to turn us back. Well, to turn us back would be 2 8s. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Hold it. Execute. Now, go back a page. Oh, things are getting more in line. Okay, so again, on the chart, jingle, 8,000 feet. Boom. Okay, Jerem, I believe was 7,000, but before I click it in there, 7,000. Wind landing west. Boom. Next up, hold it. 4,500 feet. We'll keep that, but I'm going to have it at, I'll be in control of the speed at that time. Then we'll go now into the arrival. So from hold, let's go to the ILS. Okay, across the top are our frequencies. We'll look to see if anything's up towards Miami here in a minute. Here's the big ones. ILS frequency is 110.1. If you want to test it, it will come out Morse code, India Lima Hotel India. Final approach course, as it says, 96. We can see that right here. Now at Novae. That's 7 miles from the localizer, 1,800 feet. Or on the glide slope. Okay, and then 257 MSL for the decision altitude, which is 250 feet above the ground. Airfield, 65. Where did I get 13? Somebody lied to me. It is 65 feet, so I'm going to go, well, we'll do that in a second because the chart's going to block you. 2,100 feet around the VOR. Right there on the field, just off the end of the runway. However, when you're on the glide slope, you're fine. Missed approach, you can read it there. Pretty simple. Kind of a zigzag out to ZMAV. 15 miles away from the Fort Lauderdale VOR will hold. And that is a direct entry. We'll do left-hand turns. Finally, vertically, we're going to come in at Peon at 2,500 feet or higher. Descend down to 1,800 feet by Novae, which is required, 1,800 feet or glide slope. Packy, then 1.5 will make our call, go or no go. And then these are the speeds at which and feet per minute descent to reach a 3-degree maintainment of the glide slope. Okay, and one last thing to go. Oop, doggone it, I did it again. Sorry about that, folks. Down here, we'll also see a Mauser and Pappies will be on the left-hand side. Hopefully they're more pronounced than what they were into Baltimore. They were hard to find. And then here's how you do the missed approach again. Minimums 257 and an RVR 40. Pretty simple. With the weather report that we got, I thought I put it in there. We'll put another one in there to be safe. All right, so 09 or 010, yeah, we're still looking at hardly any clouds, so we don't have to worry about minimums at this moment. So there you go, folks. There's the arrival brief. Any questions, comments, put them in the chat box as we continue to roll on at 355 or so miles out of our airport. Okay, now 65 feet, they were telling us. Come up here. I'm going to go ahead and set that to 70. I'll round up because it is halfway through. All right, folks, so now we are set up. The only last piece of information to delve into, we'll set our radio frequency up. 0906. Oops, I did not want to do that. Stand by. I want my armrest. So 0906. Okay, now one thing with flight factor aircraft, folks, keep in mind the Airbus, you got to make sure this microphone button is turned on. In the 767, it is turned on when you come in, but make sure you pull up the mic and turn it just, and then that way you'll know you're definitely going to be able to communicate. Otherwise, especially on POSCON, you'll get the message when you hit your push to talk that says COM1 not available. So, just some tips from the captain here. Hope you all enjoy the flight. Currently looking at an on-time arrival 42 minutes from now. Alright folks, while we're in cruise, we'll let some music run here also to help break up the silence in the mic sometimes. So, hope you enjoy the flight. I'm going to be working on one little project here to see if I can get it to work. what I'm doing is just trying to get the Sim Toolkit exclamation route working as a timer so that it'll go through every so often. So as people join, they can kind of see what the route is. I'm just testing it out right now. It's set for every minute. And of course it will not be that way when I set it. I just want to see if it works. And then I want to do the same thing with the Metars if it does. Just something to help me out so you all can see what the weather is. You can see what the weather is every 5 or 10 minutes down the road. Maybe 15. We'll decide that out later. But I just want to see if these work. Should be coming up here any minute if it is going to. Worst case, all it's going to say is exclamation route, and then I'll know it failed. Like I said, I'm trying to learn these things, and unfortunately they're hard to do offline. But if the aircraft itself is too loud or the music's too loud, I'm too soft with my voice, let me know. I'd sure love. I'm still always trying to tweak the stream up to make it better for everyone. And again, to Paragod 876, Taco Tuesday 7313, and TK0090, thank you for lurking about in the chat room. We hope you like what you're hearing and hope you've had a great day, a great weekend started. Be safe tonight. But folks, we thank you for joining, and feel free to come into the chat. We'd love to hear from you. But again, thanks for checking out the stream. Okay, I know counting a minute can take a while, and I don't know if it means I gotta close it, restart it, I don't know. And if I have to switch to Streamlabs instead of Stream Elements, I will, because I know a whole bunch of streamers are on Streamlabs. So, I forget what told me to try Stream Elements. Something did. Okay, give it another try here. I haven't seen anything kick off yet. All right, I don't want to waste too much time here. Okay, well, I've got a couple in here. We'll see if any of them come up here. Been about a minute and a half and I'm not seeing it. What we'll do, Okay. Okay, so we got that set up. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. That's no big deal. We'll learn about it. See what we're doing wrong, possibly. But anyway, folks, welcome aboard. We thank you for flying with Mike. Let's take a look in the cockpit here. And it'll be what it'll be on the stream with those sorry about that. Had to mute myself real quick or cough in your ears. So sorry about that. Right now we're looking at, let's see if top of descent's starting to show up. 125 miles out. At about 80 miles out, we'll begin going through the top of descent checks. We've already done some, which is to get the FMC ready for the runway. So we'll see. And at the same point, we may kick the music off. We'll see. Let me get our heading on course here in case we need to take over. And let's check X pilot. Atlanta's the only center up. Nice heavy rain where you last were, J-Drums. Okay, well, we'll be watching for it. Of course, our radars are all clear of any of that good stuff. But we do welcome everybody aboard. Hope you enjoy. We're heading into Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, I believe it's called Hollywood Heights International Airport. So... anyway, what I did is I have not done it yet. I brought up X Pilot, and that way we'll get an idea if any ATC comes up. All right, get that, and just kind of keep cruising along. And I'll tell you, for my streams, I really have found that I can't go wrong too much with approaching Nirvana. Right now I have Stars on, but for the most part, most songs on here are from them, except for my outro. That one I like to go with a song called Grand Finale. Makes sense. It's the finale and it's grand because we're going to be rewinding the landings from a couple of different angles, so we can see good, bad, the ugly of what Captain Mike up here did in the cockpit. So, let's see, distance out. This may be our last song for the time being. 102 out. Yeah, this could very well be. Or X Pilot to be up there anymore. As we cruise along at Mach point, call it 0.82, 35,000 feet. And it does not look like my timers are working. Kind of figured. everything on it. Lenny Sky, welcome to the stream. See you out there in the chat room. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Feel free to chime in the chat box. Love to hear from you. Let's take a look one more time. No, it's not updating at all. Alright, well, we'll do it. See if maybe the next stream it will. We'll worry about that another day. Uh-oh. There it goes. So as of 21:53. That's about 15-20 minutes ago, folks. There's the current weather. And let's get some weather updated here. 10 left. Laps 30, and I'm going to go ahead. Silence that real quick. Okay, we've got a 9,000 foot runway. It's dry right now. And temperature is also 29 degrees Celsius there, so. 8 cars landing. Okay, so we're going to be doing flaps 30, folks. And our VREF will be 143. The approach speed at 148, we'll call it 150. So let's head into that. We're at the 80-mile point, I believe. Or it's 71 miles, so let's get into that. Seatbelt sign will go on 25,000, 18, it's 3 people. Cargo doesn't get out of its seats. They're strapped down to the floor. It's a cargo flight. As you can see. And it looks like we're back over the clouds as we're getting close to Florida. Time for the afternoon, evening thunderstorms to start popping up. Top of descent starting to show up on the nav display as well. Well, let's get in here. Go to the INT ref page. Gross weight. Let's see, I know that's on here. There it is. Okay. 12. Yeah, we might burn 5,000 pounds off by then. So that's good. We're matching up there. 143. Let's see what happens. Okay, and you can see 148, 150 would be a good approach speed, and we're going to do that from about, what's the name of that fix? Nove, N-O-V-A-E, about 7 miles from the runway. We hope to be right around 150 as we come down the slope. So gear down, full flaps, the whole deal. So, other than that, we are set up on the page here. We'll go back to that in a moment. Auto brakes, we will run, I'm going to go ahead with a 9,000 foot runway, put us on let's see. To get the FedEx, we need to get off by Alpha 5 would be great. Alpha 6, so we'll run with 2. We'll see if we make Alpha 5. It's a high speed, Alpha 6 isn't. FedEx is between, well, on Alpha, really doesn't have any cross taxiways, but it's towards the end of the major ramps there. Okay, back out a little on this in case I need to refer to it. All right, actually, okay, so top of descent now is growing into 40. We're going to set for 2. EFIS control will set. Go ahead and dial in data on them both. And we'll set the initial descent here in a moment. Initial will be 8,000 we'll put up there. So, folks, any questions, comments? Keep them family friendly, the comments, but feel free. The chat room is wide open for you. Love to hear from you. Love to meet and greet you. We got a few more minutes here before top of descent, and like I said, I'll be dialing in 8,000 feet. Here's another song I like to play. It's called Faith. Big Giant Circles does this. It's all non-copyright material on here. And yeah, you gotta have a lot of faith, folks. That's what's brought the stream to the point it's at. It's just a lot of faith in Christ. And you, the folks that have been following us. So, hope you all have a great day, a very blessed day as we come into Fort Lauderdale. Looks like we got some storms ahead of us. Let's set 8,000. And then another song I like from this same group called Conspiracy Theory, which I know a lot of people out there have, including me. Boy, I'm the king of conspiracy theories. Well, actually, I know some of you could probably outdo me in a heartbeat. About 20 or so miles out now, folks. We'll start our way down. Okay, we're beginning, we're over bags. We're now entering the Jingle 6 arrival. 10 miles, top of descent. Alright, folks, we'll go ahead and go into a sterile cockpit. It sounds like Mother Nature in X-Plane talking to us. Alright, so here we go. Okay, we're starting our descent. Now that's a way to enter Florida. Let's take a look at how this looks out here. Guess that's their idea of rain. Hang on a second, we're going to dial some of this down. And I'm going to get the wing flex to look a little better than it does. Okay, you know, you find it and then you lose it. There is one in here for wing flex, and for the life of me, I can't find it. Huh. Well, see how this goes. And of course, weather radar isn't showing anything. I am on weather, okay. Okay, why are we really getting slow here? Sure why the trim is buried. Okay, we're going to come up. See if it'll grab 15,000. It's not. Okay. All right, autopilot's coming off. Okay. All right, this has been a fun flight so far. We'll get back on the autopilot here, make sure LNAV, VNAV are on. Throttle's up.
Fort Myers traffic, United. Meter runway.
Okay, and the reason I brought this up, I'm waiting for this to come down to about here. Then we'll put her back in VNAV. But I'm also wanting to get 12,000. Want to make sure we got control of the plane again. Okay. Lights. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter since we're way below that now. Okay. Again, we're coming down to 12,000. Hopefully we don't have a weather change. Okay, according to this on the legs page, we should be at about 11,000 over Fortle. So right about here is where we should be at 11,000. Hence the easy descent. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, set for 20. This is just too much. Don't have high terrain, so I'm turning that off. Went the wrong way. Dang it. There we go. All right. Okay, we got 10 miles to go and we're at 11,000. This should be making its move here shortly. If not, we're going to make it. Okay, it looks like we're breaking free of the storms. Wow. Pretty intense. You were nice warning there, J Drums. Appreciate it. They were intense for sure. Okay. All right. Well, the problem is I couldn't see them, so other than the clouds, and I wouldn't know which way to turn to miss them or anything because X-Plane doesn't have that great of a radar. Okay, nav on. Go ahead and slow us down to 240 now. Okay. All right, so, wow, let's do some checklists, shall we? Well, we got the transition altitude set to the current QNH, I believe. Now, if I get active sky, that should bring a radar to it. Not necessarily these radars on the screen, but a radar within it. Should. Quote, quote. Don't know. Let's see here. Want to get a up-to-date Metar, and since that's not working yet, we'll do it this way. .3009er, okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to zoom. Long lever. Okay. Okay. Auto brakes are 2. We are at 240 descending. Okay. Hopefully we're back on track. Now that we're at 10,000, lights on. And if the cargo wasn't strapped down, well, it's pretty messy back there. Go ahead and put them on continuous. Okay, anti-ice is still on. Good chance we'll be turning it off here shortly. Take a look at one chart that I can. Oh yeah, that was a pretty hefty line there. Around Punta Gorda, Fort Myers. Yeah, that's a pretty healthy line. Yeah, we would have had to go pretty much due east and come back down. Okay. All right, so we got our setup here. We're descending for 8,000. And while I'm in that mode, Jacksonville's online. We're in Miami, so it don't matter. Okay. All right, where are we? Got myself lost here. Runway lights are on. Those lights are on. Speed brake we'll use as we go. And as we get to Jingle, we're going to slow to 220. Actually, we can, how far off is 12? Okay. All right, we're going to keep speed up at Jingle. At Jerem, we are going to slow to minimum of 210, maybe slower. We'll get that back on VNav. Now, what I was looking for, folks, was getting this diamond right about here before we gave it back to VNav. That way we're back on track with our descent. Ah, there it is. Bingo. There's Stream Elements putting the Metar in. Nice. All right. And then finally, flaps. For those interested, 30 degrees, 200 is when we should start into the flaps. 30 plus 60, then 30 plus 40, then, I'm sorry, VREF plus 80, plus 60, plus 40, plus 20 for our flap deployment as we level at 8,000. Fort Lauderdale approach, FedEx 811 requesting emergency equipment. We had extreme turbulence in the thunderstorms over Fort Myers. And yes, they're not online. Okay, now I'll go ahead and start slowing. Looks like there's weather starting to try to get here. Okay, 111. Sorry, 110. Verifying that real quick. 110.1. Okay. Let's come down to 7. Okay, and again, last check. Lights are on. Continuous, okay. Okay. There's 220. And I'm going to drop to 4,500 once we cross. Okay. Okay, just waiting on the ILS. Slow. Hey, I've got glide slope showing, but why don't I have the localizer? All right, well, this could be interesting approach. 800 feet a minute, okay. In case I have to do it. Flaps 10. Go ahead and arm up the speed brake now. Bingo. Got the localizer finally alive. Localizer active and now on. Okay. Till we're on glide slope, we're going to hold at flaps 10, 180. Gear up. Fun times here, folks, at Ridgemont High. Glad you all joined us. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We are about a 15-mile final for the runway, which somewhere between here and the water, I think that's what's way out there. That's another thing I don't like. It's hard sometimes to find these runways. Okay, take a look outside while we got a few seconds here. But scenery-wise, I will have to say I like it. Not too keen on what the cities and all look like yet, but, you know, maybe they'll get that next plane 12. And I think their wake effect here is way overdrawn. Almost like they were listening to me. Okay, as we grab the glide slope, I'm going to slow us to 160. Out with another notch of flaps. Okay, so we're now set at 15 degrees flaps. Should have 2 more settings to go. Glide slope we have now achieved. Again, here is our 1,500-foot restriction. Bring it up here. There's the airfield in this area. Okay, final checks. ILS verified localizer and glide slope. MCP is on approach. Landing gear will go down. They say when the glide slope's live, we're a little below it actually. I think we're 10 miles out at this point. 6, 9, yeah, we're roughly 10 miles out. We'll keep the gear up. We do have the speed brakes already armed. We do have the auto land. What do we have? Verify green at 500 feet. I verify that a little quicker than 500 feet. That's not a lot of room between, not a lot of air between my plane and the ground at 500 feet. Okay, we're at 160. Still looking for the runway, although I wonder if those lights right there are the pappies. We'll see as we draw closer. All right, folks, we are now in the final approach phase of this stream. We do appreciate you flying with Mike today. Want to thank Glenn B Gaming for the follow. And what all do we see up here? And Fort Lauderdale traffic, FedEx 811 heavy. We are 7 miles out, 10 left. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, gear down. Okay. Making sure no updates yet. Okay. Slowing to 150, folks. Flaps 20. And there we got the land green, and usually comes in around 1,500 feet. If we want to do an auto land, we could. And we'll go flaps full now. Again, spoilers are armed. Auto land is green. We are on glide slope, even though we're really getting below it. I may have to take over. Where are we at altitude? 40 feet from where I usually do.
1,000.
Okay. My plane. And Fort Lauderdale traffic, FedEx 811, we're approximately 5 mile final, gear down, full stop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Don't be doing that there, airplane. There we go.
Lauderdale traffic, Delta 123, Bravo 3, holding short for incoming FedEx, runway 10 left.
And FedEx has the traffic, thanks. Okay, here we come.
500.
Little hot.
Minimums.
Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Wow, I'm actually on the center line. Something's wrong. Otto, did you land it?
Traffic, Delta 123, lining up runway 10 left.
Alpha 5. Well, I missed my turnoff. I ended up on the whole runway. A little bit of a long landing. Really was expecting the auto brakes to do more than they did. And Fort Lauderdale traffic, FedEx 811's off at Alpha 5. Runway's clear.
Lauderdale traffic, Delta 123, departing runway 10 left to the north.
First thing's going off is that. Flaps up. Okay, flaps are up, spoilers are down, left and right. The flight directors off. As me is off the center line. Okay, and AP's off, auto throttle is off. right, here we go, folks. Taxiing on down. You kind of get a feel for where we're headed. Oh, hang on a second here. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah. All right, folks, so there you go. You can see where we're heading. Yeah, we had a little bit of a float. Yeah, I wasn't happy about that. But yeah, appreciate that. What do we do anyway? 207 feet per minute. Wow. I'll take it. I just wished it wasn't so long of a landing. See if the APU is available. I think it is by the reading here. Yep, we're 100%. Okay. The chart came over. Now we got a little ways to go. We enter in right above pretty much the 9,000 foot mark. Getting ready to come up on Quebec. All right, we're gonna not worry what it's saying up here yet. Just get ourselves down the taxiway. All right, here's where we go in at. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kill some lights here to and yes, we're going to take this first spot right here. Come on over there. Big ol' 7.6. Okay, we are in the blocks. All right, so continuing the after landing checks. Okay, APU bleed is on, APU gen, taxi lights are off, flaps are up, transponder going to standby. And shutdown. Shutdown involves pretty much just what it says. First thing we're going to do is come up here, move these to off. Okay. APU gen on. APU bleed on. Let's make sure we come down here and get that turned off as well. Okay. And let's move the start levers to cutoff. All right. And as they're spooling down, turn the fuel pumps. We'll keep the back two on for the APU. Engines are coming off. Okay. Cargo heaters are off. Keep the windshield heat on. Yaw dampers can come off. IRS off. And I think we'll now get back outside. Oh, one more thing to turn off. Dang it. Get the anti-collisions off. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. So we'll get the... Actually, you know what? We're going to leave it just like this. Go ahead and credit for the flight. Log it. Close that out. Now we're going to come off VATSIM because they really don't like us doing replays. And that's off. And finally, I'm going to also get some toolkit taken care of. Don't want anything messed up on any of my flights. 207. Okay, and we'll close it out. All right, folks, welcome to Fort Lauderdale. Now, I do want to point it out. Let me just make sure. Okay, we get some city scenery here. A lot of the airports you go into, you don't get that. So I'm at least glad maybe 11 point, what do we have? 5.5, 5.6, something like that. Maybe that made a change. And you're right, you do. Nope. Let's roll the tape. All right. Kick on the music. Yeah, you're right, Glenn B Gaming. I kind of like it too. Can go back, see where I screwed things up, see where the plane itself screwed up in some cases, and take it from there. Here we are, short final. Truck even stopped to watch this landing. That really looked pretty good from that angle. Let's roll it back, take a look at another angle. That looked pretty good from that way too. Won't go back as far this time. Snuck a passenger or two in the back to take pictures. Alright, well, let's roll it back one more time. We'll take a look from the tower, and I'm not sure if it's that one or the one by the terminal that we'll be watching. But hang on a second. Let's see how it looks. And as another streamer, Melvin Leroy, always says, best landing in the world shows right out this way. Every time. All right, folks. Well, I think we'll call that a wrap as we roll, let the plane itself do the talk in there. Folks, we want to thank you for flying with Mike today. It has been an honor and a privilege to be in the right seat on this pretty decent flight, except for that thunderstorm coming in over Florida. But other than that, this has been phenomenal. Glenn B Gaming, thank you for the follow. And folks, thank you, Ryan Vols, a couple days ago for the gift sub that you did to one of our viewers. Folks, y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for flying with us. We look forward to seeing you next week as we continue on here with Flying with Mike. God bless. Have a great day.